write an argumentative essay about smoking. I will not mention smoking, and then I mention the reasons for smoking and diseases or the consequences of smoking. No, this is informative. I'm telling people about smoking. I am writing an argumentative essay, so argumentative essay should have an argumentative topic. So my topic will not be about smoking. It will be, should we ban smoking in public areas? So I would agree, others may refuse. So this is how my main claim should be debatable, that smoking should be banned in public places, and then I mention my reasons, that because it does this to the lung and others, those negative smokers, and this will affect others in a closed place or in an open area place if it's not so open, and affect the children, and I mention our reasons, and then at the end we have to mention the opposing claim, which will oppose. No, we want smoking to be allowed. It's our freedom and we live in a free country. It's our own decision. So we refute it by saying that, yes, it is your own decision to smoke, but you affect my health too, or other people's health too. So this is how I refute the opposing opinion. Number two, I cannot mention myself at all. As I told you, we are writing argumentative. It's a formal kind of writing. In a formal kind of writing, I never talk to the reader. I will not say to him, now it's your time to say that. Now it is the time to tell you that. No, don't talk to the reader. Why? Because you are learning to write formally. Later you can do whatever you want, but in steps of learning you have to learn how to do it right. In steps of writing, we do not talk to the reader.
How do we say our opinion and argument?
How do we say our opinion? If I want to say that I believe that we should stop or ban smoking in public areas, we say what? We say smoking should be banned in public areas. How I know as a reader that this is your opinion? Because you are the one who wrote it. Okay?
But teacher, I found a lot of argumentative essays where they mention all the pronouns.
There are lots of argumentative essays that mention the one who talks, but this is not 100% correct. I told you, they can do that, but this will not be formal. So when you learn to do something, learn to do it professionally, and then do whatever you want. But in a professional writing, in a formal professional writing, you do not talk to the reader and you do not mention yourself. When you know how to say the sentence without mentioning yourself, it will be easier later to mention yourself. But if you learn to mention yourself, it is hard to know how to twist the sentence. And instead of saying that smoking affects our health, write it, smoking affects people's health. Replace it. If we want to say, for example, that art and PE should be graded at school or not, don't say, I believe that physical education and art education is important to the... Don't mention I believe. Say it without stating yourself. Say it, art, education, and physical education, or up to research, and don't mention which research, this and this are important or should be graded. And then you mention your opinion, why it should be graded. Why? Because it will encourage girls to participate in physical activities. It will help them to lose weight. It will help them to do what? To improve the blood cycle in your body and blah, blah, in their bodies, or in girls' bodies, on the students' bodies, not in our body. Opposing opinion. There should be it will not be called an argumentative without opposing opinion. In a test, next week you have a test. You took 2 topics. Synthesis and argumentative. Synthesis essay, because as I said to you before, synthesis is a part of argumentative. So in the synthesis essay, you will have to choose between one topic of the 2. the topics I brought from your PowerPoint presentation. Why? It is for the first time I tell you that I will choose from these topics, because synthesis, you should gather information from two sources, as we said. You have in the PowerPoint of synthesis essay. When you open it, synthesis essay, you will find like 7 topics. I chose 2 of them to write about one of them.
The synthesis essay is informative, right?
Synthesis is a kind of
just compare-
argumentative, but just you will mention 2 sources, 2 opinions.
Yes, but you don't take a side.
In synthesis, you can take a side, but also without mentioning your opinion. Okay, so it is not taking a side. You are.
I'm just
discussing.
basically informing, and this side thinks that, and that side thinks that.
But it is a kind of argumentative because it has 2 opinions.
Yes, but teacher, argumentative essay is easier.
Okay, and then you will have argumentative essay and 2 topics you can choose. So it means you have 4 topics, you choose one of them. I will not consider it as argumentative essay without opposing opinion. It will not be argumentative. In order to have a good essay, there should be introduction with a background. And I said it many times. I found essays with no background directly to the topic. You'll be minus. There should be background. There should be a clear thesis statement or a claim or a main claim or a main idea. And then support it, even in the synthesis or in the argumentative, you should support your claim with reasons, evidence, anything. Imagine a doctor and write his name. And because there is no time or no chance to gather information from the internet, you're not allowed to use it. So say any scientist, accepted. And then the last paragraph before the introduction, you mention opposing opinion and you refute it. Others might claim that. On the other hand, people might refuse that. They may think that. Okay, twist the sentences. You should learn how to twist the sentences without mentioning yourself or talking to the reader. Okay, because when you want to talk to the reader, when we want to make informal writing, we say to you, talk to the reader. But now you learn how to write formal writings. That's it.
Miss, I think that the one that I like is
Can you tell me if my writing is informative or not?
Yes, Linda?
Can you tell me if my writing is considered argumentative or informative?
Wait a minute. If it's informative, I wrote for the girls. I write my comments. Wait, I will check.
Miss, my writing.
Yes, teacher, tell us so we won't make the same.
No, I sent you all. I sent you those who.
Miss, can I tell you
teacher, for when can we send it?
What from?
Because you wrote that mine أصلا isn't an argumentative essay. So, يعني إيش الدate اللي معي لأسلمه؟
No, Linda, you wrote for me. Some may believe diets are an effective solution. No, yours is an argumentative, yeah, Linda. Yes, Lean. Lean, yes, Lean.
Yes, teacher, when is the date? يعني it's due to when?
The problem is not in the date and due to when. The problem is that you have next week test, and if you write an argumentative this way, it will not be considered as argumentative.
So how much time will you give
And
us?
I want to tell you one thing, girls. The first rule in writing is to understand the prompt well. Is to understand what he really wants you to write.
Yeah.
So number 1 is to understand what does he want you to write. So you do not, if you write some, for example, when I told you to make the presentation about William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass and their rules, some girls sent me the presentation about anti-slavery society. I told her, please read the prompt well. You have to know what does he want from you. You have to understand the question itself in order to fix it, to answer it. So if it's argumentative, you know the argumentative requirements.
Teacher?
Yes.
Yes.
And then do you check mine?
Raghat, I didn't receive. yours?
Ella, I sent it to you yesterday
Where?
on WhatsApp.
On yesterday on email.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check. I didn't. I يعني at night I don't check WhatsApp or email or anything. يعني.
Miss,
Yes.
is the one
Sarah?
that I write synthesis. I think it's synthesis.
Who took Sarah?
Yes.
Sarah, where have you been the previous whole week, ya Sarah?
Miss, I have told you, Miss, I have sat on a lot
Yes,
studying.
for the whole week, ya Sarah.
Yeah, Miss.
And what did you do? Was it good?
Miss, I'm good in math. يعني Miss أنا بالإنجليزي مو شاطرة كذا.
Hey, the problem is in reading. As I told you,
Yeah.
math and writing are good.
Miss, and the
problem is in
problem
reading.
is Miss أنا بعد ما فتحت كتاب إنجليزي قرأت ولا بعمله. يعني حرفيا ولا بعمله فمشان هيك يعني أنا مو شاطرة كثير بالإنجليزي يعني. أنا شاطرة فيه بالماث وبالرايتنج بس بالريدنج أبدا يعني بس حتى باسج ويا دوب يا مس ما يعني. So I have to start يعني reading every day, every week.
Yes.
بس Miss for writing Miss did I write synthesis or what? I think that I write synthesis.
I sent you. I told you. I told you those who sent me and those who didn't because I have to fill up the marks.
Miss Nada.
Miss,
Sorry,
can I tell you
Sarah.
something?
Yes.
Yeah, Miss.
Sarah, no, you didn't write the synthesis essay. Yes, Yehuda.
No, I'm Nancy.
Yes, Nancy.
With this school, you always say that no, we don't. The girls don't know how to write a lot because with this school education, honestly, they don't have a great English. The school system, like clinical English, is not it's not that good. For example, in my old school, they gave the writing with grammar. They gave us rules and they explained, like they had full-on periods for rules for writing. They gave us the foundation and everything. But when I moved to education, they didn't really give us everything. They just told us what type of essay to write and just told us to write. They didn't give us anything about it.
But didn't I give you, Nancy?
You gave us this, but when you
I
gave
know
us,
that maybe
no, I'm
maybe
not saying
it's
anything
late.
about you. I'm not saying
I
anything
know.
about you.
Maybe it's too late, but I understand that in previous years, right?
Yeah, but Miss Inti, when a teacher like gives a student like the topic directly and tells us to write about it, first of all, the student is going to take time to understand the whole thing. But as in education, they gave the students the writing topics from years ago, and every year they focus more and more on writing. Then we'd be good at writing. Yeah, and my writing in my old school was so good. And when I came here, حتى my grammar and writing, this year I realized like how bad I got at them. Like in my old school, I never ever got bad in English. I was always one of the top students in English. But here, their English system is just, I don't know, it's bad.
I don't know what to say. But is there anything I didn't say this year?
No, I'm not saying about you. No, you said everything. You covered everything.
I'm talking seriously, Nancy.
She's talking about it, يعني التأسيس كيف
The system.
Yeah, they don't give us like solid foundations to start with.
Oh, I understand.
Miss, if you will repeat our writing, can you please say for us that?
Listen, I don't want you to repeat because the problem is I don't have time to check. Because I have to start, I finished the checking for you and grade 10. I finished everything. I have to start making your exams. So I'm kind of stressed. No time to check anything.
She didn't write any comments
Send
about
mine.
my
I
essay.
send my name. But I send you mine on Classera.
Lean, on email, Lean.
Yes, teacher.
Miss, so that
okay, I'll check, Lean.
Okay.
Miss, that means we won't take the mark, right?
For you listeners, you have mark for homeworks, the writing homeworks, and you have a test next week.
Yes, but Miss, you said
I want you to focus on I want you to focus on the test now.
Okay.
I want you to focus because if these mistakes are in the test, you should be minus. No way to increase your mark by any way. Because you write it in papers, I'll take these papers, print them, and check them manually and leave them at school. So, a mistake will be considered.
How much time will you give us?
2 periods. It will be next Wednesday.
طيب teacher, can you tell us the topics ولا
No, listen, girls, listen. I never give topics, but because synthesis depends on sources, so I have informed the administration that I will give you few topics and then I will pick 2 of them. As it's written in your PowerPoint, there were 7 topics. I took 2 of them. This is in the synthesis essay. Argumentative essay, of course, I cannot say.
طيب teacher, the
Are
exam
we
will be
supposed to find information for all the 7 topics?
Read about them, yes. I can't do anything more than this.
But we have to write them down يعني, on a paper?
The sources?
Yes, so we can see it.
No, no. In يعني just write for me sources that you know that there will be a source and only one is enough for me.
So
Teacher,
teacher,
the PowerPoints are uploaded on Classera, صح?
Everything is uploaded, videos on YouTube. As I told you, videos are on YouTube. If Classera doesn't work, you can open my video from YouTube and just watch the video. In the video, I say everything about this, but not in a one video. There's more than one video. Yani synthesis essay is like 3 videos. Argumentative essay like also 3 videos.
طيب teacher, the exam will be on synthesis or argumentative?
You pick one. You pick to write. I will bring you 2 and you pick.
Okay.
طب teacher, you didn't give me any comments about my essay, بس you said ما أدري, I don't know. بس يعني does that mean I'm good يعني to write the same way in the exam?
When I say, wait a minute, Nirvana, I'll open yours. When there are comments, no, I loved it. It's about graffiti. No, I loved it there. I loved it, Nirvana. Just girls. One more thing. Let me share with you this because I want to show you, please, because none of you, just one girl made this. You have to leave an indent here, girls, before the beginning of each paragraph. You should leave this space, girls. This space, okay? You got me?
Yes. That's the only thing يعني.
Yes, this was the only thing.
I write the same way in the exam?
Yeah, yes. Write the same way. Of course, not the same topic, but you write the same way. And you said that you mentioned the opposing opinion when you said that others might consider graffiti as art, but other may think it is vandalism, and you mentioned it. So you mentioned the opposing opinion and refuted it, which was great.
Teacher, did you like mine?
Let me remember what was it, Yadima. Here is it. Yes, Yadima. Yes, I like it. Here is it in front of me. Yes, just the body, as I told you, and you told me that it was divided, but when when I transferred it, it was not.
I made it into 6 paragraphs, but
great. Division is very important, girls, because it shows the one in front of you that you are following. In writing, we have the outline. I will show you now some videos. Yani I picked some videos for you to talk generally about writing. Okay?
Miss?
Yes.
Miss, I want to ask, do you like mine? Or is it another?
Let me check, Sarah. What was it, Sarah? Sarah, it was not argumentative. Where is the topic that you are arguing?
I told you, Miss. I said it's synthesis.
So this is synthesis, not argumentative?
Yeah, بس مثلا أنا كنت أول شيء ملخبطة ما كنت بعرف، فكرت أول شيء synthesis، فرحت كتبت، بعدين إجا على رفقات إنه هو argumentative، بعدين ما غيرت يعني قلت خلاص تعبت علي كثير هاي.
So you give me, so this is the synthesis, not.
No, Miss أنا.
So still I didn't receive the argumentative from you.
No, Miss أنا which argumentative? Miss wait. No, Miss, this was the argumentative. Miss أنا استخبطت.
It cannot be argumentative, dear, because there is no.
Yes, I know.
Topic.
أنا بعرف مثلا أنا متلخبطة قلت لك يعني.
It's okay, just fix it. I sent you my comments, so fix it to avoid the mistakes in your. Sarah, do you hear me, dear? Avoid these mistakes in the test, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let me show.
Miss, mine is good. Yani, can I write similar to it in the exam?
According to the topic, what if it's not the same topic?
Yeah, I mean the same way.
The same way? Let me check. What's your name, dear?
Yeah.
Aya. Yes, Aya just mentioned, I believe, and we live, and I made them with right, and I strongly recommend. And this was it. Don't mention yourself. Okay.
Math?
Okay, but the
That's
rest
it.
is good, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Teacher,
Yes, Serena.
teacher, my essay that you sent was a complete mess. Yani, it's not what I wrote.
It's okay, dear. Yeah. Just avoid these mistakes.
No, I know what you mean, but I didn't write this paragraph. I wrote way more. I can send it on WhatsApp if you
Okay,
want.
send it on WhatsApp if you want me to check it for you.
Okay.
I
Teacher,
will. Yes.
you told me that I shouldn't talk to the audience while writing the essay,
Yes.
but how يعني? I don't really understand.
Mariam talking or who's asking?
Yes, yes, Mariam.
Wait a minute, Mariam. I'll open yours, but just let me check this. I'll open yours. Here is it. Yes, Mariam, I loved your writing. I really loved it, and I love the way you presented it and everything. But listen, dear, you do not talk to the reader. You don't say to him, I will tell you what to do. It can be harmful to you. No. Instead of writing, it can be harmful to you. Write it. It is harmful for human, for people, for others, for any other thing, but replace you. That's it.
Yes,
Okay?
I speak generally.
Don't speak generally. Yani don't talk generally to a reader. Don't write, for example, we can forget a little bit about the other things now to have some organic oranges, right? If people can forget a little bit about the other thing now to have some organic oranges. You got me?
Yes. Yes.
Just replace it. But I loved your topic. I love the way you presented the topic. I really, really loved it.
Thank you, Miss.
Actually, I myself didn't know some of the information here.
I'm glad it was
And
beneficial.
you arranged the thoughts, you mentioned the sources, you did everything right. Just don't mention yourself again and don't talk to the reader.
Okay.
Okay. You see my PowerPoint now, girls? Not PowerPoint, I mean YouTube.
Oh, yes, I see it.
Yes. Do you hear?
Yes.
Okay. This man is, no, where is it?
Try online work and project calendars. Unlike traditional.
So, you know, it's this caring. Hi, James from Ingvid. I'm having a hard time reading this paper because a lot of the articles just don't interest me. And that's a problem because this is a paper. They make money because people want to read what they have to say. Now, you are probably not writing for a newspaper or a magazine, but I bet you're in school writing essays, or you wouldn't be looking at this particular video, which is about, well, what is it? It is the ultimate intro. Whoa. Okay, the ultimate intro to what? To writing essays. A lot of you are studying for TOEFL, IELTS, or TOEIC, or you just want to write and you want to write well in English. Well, this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to specialize on the introduction. I did another lesson, one of the 5-part essay. If you go back and look, it's up on Ingvid right now, and it showed, you know, the parts of the essay, and generally went over it. But then I thought, you know what? And I actually had a student, thank you, from Canada, Toronto, walk up to me one night and said, "You do English lesson on essay?" And I went, "Yeah." She went, "More." So okay, here we are. So what I want to do is I want to help you write the ultimate intro. I'm going to give you the basics so you can do something that'll make you, well, there are 4 reasons for a good intro. Number 1, if you do a good intro, your whole essay will be easier to write. And I'll show you why in a second or two. Because the introduction is like a seed. You know, when you have an apple, the little brown things, you take the little seed, drop it in the ground, a tree grows, okay? If you do the right introduction, it'll grow the best tree. Make it simple for you, okay? Another thing is, with a good introduction, it helps you by giving the details that you want to give to the reader right there, so they know if they want to read it or not, okay? It also makes it easier for the reader to understand and follow, right? So we've got number 1, easier for you to write. Number 2, easier for the, makes it better for the reader to follow. Number 3, it gives the order of your argument, right? You can say, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to talk about this, this, and this, so they know what's going on, okay? And number 4, it gives the details. You go, the story's about 1, 2, 3, 4. They understand. So why don't we get to it instead of just talking about it? You're going to notice I have something weird on the board today. Ezekiel is also confused. He's going, what is this? It looks like a diagram for Star Trek, the engine room, right? Captain here on the fallopian tubes. Did I say fallopian tubes? They don't have fallopian tubes. That'll be another lesson. But what we set out is the outline. And what I want you to do is what you want to do is before you write an essay, you want to write out this outline every time. I'm going to go through and give you the particular parts, and then you can fill it in, all right? So why don't we start off the beginning? Up here is what we call a grabber, okay? The grabber. And you're going to say, what is a grabber? Well, it's not grab her. Don't get a girl and grab her. You'll go to jail. What you want to do is catch someone's attention. If you remember rightly, I said I'm not really interested in what was in the paper, and I wasn't. And it's simply because they didn't grab my attention. To grab means to catch and hold. They didn't catch it and hold it. Now, a good grabber, I wrote this here, but what a good grabber will do will make you read it and look at it at first, and then make you want to go deeper. Well, how do we get a good grabber? Well, there are 5 basic ways we usually talk about. 5-finger method, right? Now, number 1 is this. Hold on. Why did the chicken cross the road? Come on. You want to know, right? Okay. To go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and see its relatives. You like, right? You like. It's horrible. It's horrible. But it's a joke. Sometimes you can actually start off an essay with a joke, a little bit of a joke. It makes people go, that's funny. And then I'm going to say, why did you tell me this joke? I grabbed you. I got you. Now you're curious about what else I have to say, even if it's not the best joke. Okay? Now, sometimes we want to be a little bit more serious because we are obviously studying at higher institutes of learning, right? And if you're doing that, then you might want to go a little bit higher. You might want to put down the old proverbial proverb, you know? A bird in the hand. Oops, sorry, that's proverb. I preferred something else, but I didn't write it. All right, proverb, all right? And, you know, a proverb is basically something that's been written a long time ago. Everybody kind of knows it. We don't know who said it. A bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. George Bush, I'm not talking about you. Okay, you know, everybody knows these things. I mean, that one is in several languages. People literally have told me, we have it in my language. Who made it? We don't know. But then sometimes you want to get a little bit more, you know, poignant, or you want to get a little bit more serious. So you want to use a quote. One of my favorite quotes is by a guy named Winston Churchill, a Prime Minister of England. And one day I'll wear my England shirt with my name on it. Look out for that lesson, okay? Anyway, he said, I am always ready to learn. However, I am not always prepared to be taught. And that's where I kind of get my philosophy for teaching as well, right? Like, people always want to learn. They never say, I don't want to learn English. They just might not like your style of teaching. So you have to adapt, right? So you might have a quote, which I just gave you. The next is this, because that sometimes is a little bit what we call frou-frou, a little snobby. You might want to bring it a little bit more down to earth, and you might want to use your own anecdote. Little story from your life, you know? So you're talking about the essay, and you go, you know, in my life, you know, maybe I came from a small town up in New Haven. I'm making this up, it's a story, right? And everybody was poor, but the one thing we had was soul. We cared, right? And then you might turn around and say in your essay, you know, it's this caring that makes humanity work. It doesn't matter what we have. Oh my God, that's so deep, right? So an anecdote can do that. Now, there's a couple other things, because if you're doing, well, maybe, as I said, you might not be in school, maybe you're doing business. And there are a couple other things that would work well for you. Well, one is a surprising fact. Oh, I shouldn't have told you yet. Did you know 1 in 2 people are female? Yeah, of course you did. That's not a surprising fact, but you get the drift. When I say you get the drift, you get the general idea, which basically means you tell people something that they may not have known. Completely surprises them. Like, Diet Cola will rot your brain and give you brain cancer. I'm sure you're like, right now, right? You're like, oh my God, no one told me this. Yeah, it's possible, okay? So a surprising fact. And if that doesn't work, this one always works. I guarantee it. You know how I can guarantee it? Okay, how about this? How would you like to make $1 million in the next 10 minutes? Right? Okay, now Ingvid's server is crashing because you're all going, how I make the money? How I make the money? And this is when we use your curiosity. I'm going to ask you a question. You start with a question, people are like, I need to know. I want to know the answer to this question. These are your grabbers. So sorry it took so long to get to it, but this is an important thing. Because if you don't have my attention, you've got nothing. So I might waste 3 minutes of your time now explaining it.
Grade 11? Girls?
Yes. Yes.
Girls, till now he discussed the grabbers. Grabbers is the first statement you write in your writing in order to grab the attention of the reader. Okay, we'll stop here, go for a 5 minutes break, and we continue later. Okay?
Okay.